The first diplomatic meeting between humans and the Vex Collective took place aboard the orbital station _Harmony Point _, positioned carefully in the shadow of a small moon. Ambassador Tom Reed noticed immediately that the lighting was dimmed to near darkness. His eyes adjusted slowly as he was escorted to the conference chamber. "Your accommodations are prepared according to standard life support protocols," said Guide Kell, a tall, willowy being with iridescent skin that seemed to absorb what little light existed in the hallway. "We'd apologize for any discomfort." Tom smiled politely. "No discomfort at all, though I admit I'm curious why you keep it so dark." Kell's eyes widened slightly, their vertical pupils dilating. "For your safety, of course." Before Tom could ask further questions, they arrived at the chamber where 5 Vex representatives waited, their bodies draped in elaborate protective garments that covered all but their faces. They regarded Tom with expressions he interpreted as a mixture of concern and fascination. "You've come directly from Earth?" asked Leader Mox, the eldest of the delegation. "Yes, just 3 days in transit," Tom replied. The Vex exchanged glances. "And you traveled through open space with direct solar exposure?" Tom nodded, confused by their apparent alarm. "Our ships have viewports. Standard procedure." A ripple of what sounded like distressed clicks passed through the delegates. "Yet you stand before us, undamaged," whispered Science Director Nix, leaning forward to study Tom's exposed skin. "Fascinating." It was then that Tom began to understand. Throughout the following days of diplomatic talks, the truth emerged. The Vex evolved on a world orbiting a volatile star, one whose radiation would destroy their cellular structure without the protective layers they had developed both biologically and technologically. They had assumed all intelligent life would face similar constraints. On the 4th day, Tom received permission from Earth Command to conduct a demonstration. The Vex gathered in their observation deck, a room with a massive reinforced window that normally remained shuttered. Today, for the first time in the station's history, the shutters would open. "Are you absolutely certain about this procedure?" asked Mox, visibly nervous. "Our medical team is prepared, but we cannot guarantee." "I'll be fine," Tom reassured them, standing alone in the center of the room while the Vex pressed themselves against the far wall, their protective garments enhanced for the occasion. "Commencing demonstration," announced the station's AI. The shutters slowly parted, revealing the brilliant light of the system's star. Unfiltered sunlight poured into the room, creating a golden rectangle on the floor that stretched until it touched Tom's boots, then climbed up his body. The Vex made sounds of distress as the light completely engulfed the human. Tom spread his arms, turning slowly. "This is sunlight as we experience it on Earth. Our star is relatively stable, and our atmosphere filters the harmful radiation. But even in space, with proper eye protection, humans can withstand direct sunlight briefly." The Vex were silent, their expressions unreadable to human eyes, but their body language conveyed awe. "Your species evolved with this immunity?" Nix finally asked. "Not immunity," Tom corrected. "Adaptation. Our skin produces melanin as protection. We can be burned, develop cancers with too much exposure. But yes, we evolved under our sun's light. We require it for vitamin D synthesis. Without some sunlight, humans become ill." "You need it?" Kell whispered, the concept clearly alien to them. Tom nodded. "Some of our ancient civilizations even worshipped the sun." Word spread quickly among the Vex. By the end of the diplomatic mission, their scientists had presented Tom with a proposal for joint research into human solar resistance. What seemed ordinary to humanity represented an evolutionary path the Vex had never imagined possible. 6 months later, a delegation of Vex scientists arrived at the Earth orbital station _New Dawn _. They emerged from their ship wearing modified protective suits, their face coverings transparent enough to reveal their expressions of nervous anticipation. The human welcoming committee led them to the station's arboretum, a vast dome filled with plants and bathed in replicated Earth sunlight. The Vex hesitated at the entrance. Dr. Lisa Jones, lead xenobiologist, stepped forward. "We've installed graduated light filters throughout the dome. You'll move through progressively brighter sections at your own pace. Your suits will provide additional protection. Nix, now heading the scientific delegation, nodded solemnly. We have prepared extensively for this experience. The group entered the first section, where the light was just slightly brighter than on their ships. Some Vex physically trembled, conditioned by generations of survival to fear the light that could kill them within minutes of exposure. But the suits held, the filters worked. Slowly they progressed. In the central section of the Arboretum, illuminated to simulate early morning on Earth, the youngest member of the Vex delegation, Assistant Researcher Tull, made a momentous decision. Under careful supervision, after multiple medical scans, they requested to expose one hand to the filtered light. The entire delegation watched as Tull slowly removed their glove. Their hand, four-fingered, iridescent, evolved for a world of shadows, trembled as they extended it into a shaft of gentle sunlight. It's warm, Tull whispered, wonder evident in their voice. That moment marked the beginning of the Vex Solar Adaptation Program. Through collaborative research, protective biological treatments were developed to allow the Vex short exposures to sunlight. Never would they bask in it like humans, but the terror receded. As the Human-Vex alliance grew, other species joined the galactic community, each with their own evolutionary quirks and adaptations. Throughout known space, stories spread of the humans, the strange, resilient creatures who stood bare-skinned in starlight, who turned their faces to the burning hearts of solar systems and smiled. In the great cosmic lottery of evolution, humanity's relationship with their star became their unexpected strength, a simple adaptation that left the rest of the galaxy in awe.